I want you to think about your last argument you had in your marriage, or maybe you call them discussions. They literally are so frustrating. They drain our energy and they steal our joy. But if you're having reoccurring arguments way too often, you have to stop and think, what is the cause of that? And guess what? We are emotional beings. We have the emotions of excitement, happiness, sadness, stress. And guess what? We have that emotion of when we feel threatened, we feel like we need to defend ourselves. Sometimes we're on the offense and sometimes we're on the defense. But guess what? Sometimes the things that go on with our emotions and these arguments and these fights in our marriage, they're not your fault. They are the reaction to something else that's going on in life. And so often we take them totally personal. So here's what I want to do today. I want to tell you, first of all, that emotions are hardwired. Each and every person is literally hardwired at birth with a top emotion. And that is how they react to everything. Now, I'm not going to go all into that because it's probably a pretty long story, but just think about yourself. What's the top emotion that you immediately react with? And what is that top emotion of your spouse? Well, I'm going to go through three things that can really cause us to be defensive in our marriage. And when we're defensive, it doesn't help us and it doesn't help the situation when it comes to arguments. The first one is anger. Now, if somebody's top emotion is anger, they're going to react always with anger. It might not be about you. It's probably not about you. And so here's a couple of things. Beware of asking them questions. When you ask them questions, they feel threatened, they feel interrogated, and they react with ta-da, anger, right? So watch out for the questions. Also, if somebody reacts with anger, you can give them choices. You could say, well, what do you think we should do? Don't tell them what to do. What do you think we should do? You can't even give them, like I said, you know what? How about we do this or this? Now they're making the decision. If you are living with a person who anger is their top emotion, then use these two things to help you get through it. And then remember that it's probably not your fault. And learn to let it slide off your back. Learn to let it slide off your back because this is just who they are and it's not actually your problem or more than likely anything that you did. The second one is sensitivity. Sometimes we are very sensitive to what our spouse thinks or says to us. Sensitivity. If you are with someone who is very sensitive, learn to be empathetic. Number one, because that shows how much you care when you have empathy for that person. And don't we ourselves, all of us, want empathy? We want to know that our spouse understands us and cares about us and is listening to us. Now, here's the thing. It's not always about you if that spouse is really sensitive. So just use the empathy, let them know you're listening, and then, here it is again, let it roll off your back. It's probably not your fault. It's something else that's going on with them that day or something else that's going on in life, and they're projecting it onto you. The next one is criticism. Do you know that there are people, just like people are hardwired with that anger or that sensitivity, they're hardwired with criticism. Now, they wouldn't really like to hear that and they don't really mean to do it, but it's like hardwired and they look at everything with a critical eye. They see things that the rest of us just don't see and really don't even care to see. So, acts, first of all, whatever they say to you, sometimes it hurts your feelings, doesn't it? Whatever they say to you, assess what they say. Really think, is this true? It's probably not, or you should assess what they say because it might be true or a little bit true. What can I do about this? But don't react yourself emotionally because honest, when you live with a critical person, it hurts. It's like you can't do anything right. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to feel like somebody's looking over my shoulder all the time because I think they're ready to criticize me. All right, so assess what you hear them say so that you can think, do I need to listen to this or should I just let this go? And remember that whatever they're saying is one perspective. Yeah, one perspective. Everybody has a different perspective. If you ask four people who see the same thing go on, they're all going to give you a different answer, a different perspective. They're going to see something different in the situation. So, here again, if you live with a critical person, learn to, what did we say before? Let it slide off your back. Because when they're emotional and then you become emotional, what do you get? Arguments and fights. And I don't think anybody likes arguments and fights in their marriage. Hi, I'm Connie. I've been married over 40 years and I've studied behavior styles for people. And I truly believe that when people can start to understand each other better, they can get along better. I also believe that you get more of what you focus on. So, guess what? We start focusing on those arguments. We start focusing on those emotions. So we focus on the problems that we're having. And what happens? We just keep getting more. It's like a negative energy that just keeps rising and rising. But what if you could learn to let some of those things slide and you could begin to focus on what's important to you? Having a peaceful marriage, unity, friendship, love life, right? All right, so with that, focusing on more what you want, I want you to take a look right at the bottom of this video, and I want you to look for 7 powerful practices that you can begin to, that will help you experience more, here, I'm going to forget my words here, experience more love and joy and unity. Because if you focus on these 7 powerful things that happy marriages probably already do, you can begin to focus on more of what you want. Focus on more of what you want. Focus on more of what you want. I'm Connie with The Extraordinary Marriage.